Hello and welcome to another edition of the Josh Hose Show. I'm your host Dave Sheets, along with the head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Josh Hose. Our show is brought to you each week by Reliable Heating and Cooling of Massillon. Josh, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Josh, another home win last night. The Tigers are now 5-6. Last night, a 75-67 win over Andrews Osborne Academy. Now, your team, which has kind of been the way things have gone recently, fell behind early, but you had a strong second quarter.
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about that after the game, like what it is that we got to do to get ourselves going in the first quarter. But it's almost like we kind of come out and just feel the thing out, feel the other team out, and kind of go from there. But it's not a good way to live. And but the other teams have come out really hot too. So, I mean, the last two games we've gotten down early. I felt like they hit a lot of good shots, and credit to our guys. Like, that's again that resilience piece we talked about last week. We're starting to show signs of fighting through those tough situations and bouncing back versus beginning of the year where we seem to get down early like that, hang our heads and let a 14, 15-point lead become 20 or 25. So really proud of them. I mean, again, that team had some great shooters, some great scorers last night. So they posed a lot of tough situations on defense that we had to kind of fight through, and our guys figured it out.
Well, your senior, Brett Martin, had a big game last night, led the team in scoring, rebounding, kind of a stat-stuffing night, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I said in the paper, I said, Brett, he's a smart kid. He's a smart basketball player. He's a great basketball player. He knew, being shorthanded, that he was going to have to step up. Other guys knew they were going to have to step up. But Brett, takes it on his shoulders. It's like the senior leader, that he was going to really kind of do a little bit of everything last night. And I saw leadership out of him at different times where, he's pointing and directing traffic and everything. So, yeah, it was just kind of fun to watch him figure it out and lead the team like he usually does for us. But just he just seemed to step it up. And we talked about the game before the game with people being out, like no excuses. We just got to make it happen. And he really took that to heart. And again, a lot of credit to our other guys that stepped up too. Is like they just didn't cut themselves any slack and say, hey, we got to get this done. This is who we're playing with tonight. Let's go.
Well, I know Brett will get a lot of credit, but one guy that I noticed I thought had a really good floor game was Jaden Wise off your bench. Do you think so?
Yes. Jaden is funny because he's been playing some JV, playing some varsity. All fall he was a varsity guy when we were shorthanded with football guys being out. But we know one thing with Jay Wise is he's going to give us maximum effort. Like, he's going to play hard. We talk about it, fail fast. We use that term a lot, and he's a kid that fits that term. Like, he's going to make mistakes being a sophomore. But the kid goes 100 miles an hour. He creates a lot of energy on the court. He creates a lot of opportunity, too, because he goes so hard. Like, I was just watching film a little bit, and the charge he had, he's attacking the basket. And it's not like he's ever making mistakes out of hesitation. So when we were shorthanded, we said, Wise got to play some more tonight. And we knew that he would create some things for us. And you're right, he did a lot of good things. He had some rebounds. He just, like I said, he brings a energy and an intensity to the court that really, like I said, kind of sparks us a little bit as we get into just different rotations. He's really a kind of a spark plug guy.
I also felt that sophomore Luke Sabo had a strong game, and we'll meet with Luke here in a little bit on the show, and we'll talk more about his game. But your team has now won 3 in a row. Do you feel a little bit of momentum building in that Tiger locker room now?
I do. I mean, we knew this is a big week for us. We got a big one Thursday going into the weekend. So we knew we had an opportunity, to put some games together here, and we got a tough road stretch coming up here, like 7 games on the road against some good opponents. The hardest thing has been our lineup. It's just been so in flux constantly. Like, it feels like every time we start to figure something out, it changes. So, but I do feel like there's some momentum there. I feel like our guys are getting it. I feel like they're playing for each other. They're kind of understanding what we're about, and they're trusting us a little bit more. They're trusting each other a lot, and so it's showing, and that's fun to watch. Going into the tournament, that's what you're always building for. Knowing we got this late start, this slow start, had some guys. I said last night we had 4 of our top 10 guys out last night. And to overcome that and just keep playing through it is, seeing different guys like Luke step up. And I said to Luke, I said, hey, you're starting tonight, and all right. I mean, that's Luke, and he was ready for it. He preps himself. He was playing a lot for us in the fall, and does some great things for us. And he's kind of like that kid that he's a pulse of our team. he just has that leadership piece that the guys believe in him, they follow him. So when you plug him in there, there's no doubt the guys are going to believe in him, and he believes in himself a great deal. And I think that helped him, fit in that spot and play great last night. He was aggressive, he was attacking, he was just doing he plays great defense, and just sets the tone there. So it was just fun to watch these guys, these young guys, trying to figure it out. And the cool thing is that they're sophomores. A lot of them are sophomores that are going to be back in the next 2 years and just keep getting better and better.
Right. Well, we'll talk more with Josh in just a few moments about this week's upcoming games, and we'll also meet a Tiger player. But first, this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable. Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
And thanks to Reliable Heating and Cooling, and welcome back to the Josh Ho Show. Our Tiger player joining us this week is sophomore Luke Sabo. Luke, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Luke, you made your first varsity start last night in the win over Andrews Osborne Academy, and thinking back on the game, how would you grade out your own performance?
If I had to give myself a grade, I'd probably somewhere in the B area. I feel like I played my game offensively. I didn't try to, get out of what I do normally. So, but defensively, I felt like I could have made some early changes to stop some of the scoring runs they went on. But other than that, I played within myself, and yeah.
If someone has not seen you play before, how would you describe your game, and then how does it fit into the team concept?
My game, I like to play off my other guys on the floor. So when they drive, I like to be ready to shoot, make sure I'm there if they want to kick the ball out, knock down a shot. But I also like to attack. If there's a lane, I like to be aggressive, and I like to drive to the hole. So regardless, I like to be aggressive, attack, and be able to shoot when guys drive to the lane.
Since the end of basketball season a year ago, what have you done in the off season and heading into this year's schedule to improve your game?
Well, it took me a little bit of time to get in the gym because I do play summer baseball, so it did take a little bit of time. But when I got back, really I was just focusing on doing in-game moves that I normally do. Getting a lot of shots, repetition's a big thing for me. So in games, doing the same things over and over in practice, so in games it's just natural.
As a kid growing up, did you have a favorite basketball player, and who was that?
It's cliche, but I did, and still do. It's LeBron. Mm-hmm. He makes every other teammate on the court better, and that's why most people admire his game. He does a little bit of everything, even when he doesn't score. He's making sure other guys are involved, and that's probably one guy that I've looked up to probably my whole life.
All right, we're going to ask you to take us into the gym and describe what a normal practice might be with a coach and his staff.
A normal practice up pace, no lounging around. Gotta get stuff done with the amount of time we have. Lots of drills that we do to start off practice. Shooting, moves off the dribble. Then some offensive work and some kind of like inter-squad scrimmage stuff to make sure we're ready for our next opponent.
All right. Well, Luke, thanks for joining us today, and good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right. Coach, you can obviously see he's a sophomore, but he's quite a mature young man, and I think that having the ability to self-analyze is huge, don't you think?
Yeah, well, and I say it all the time. I said it was impressive after our Akron East game. We talked as a team about who's our leader, and the kids pointed at Luke. And Luke had played like 2 minutes that night, and it was the last 2 minutes of the game. But he played it like it was the first 2 minutes. And so we started looking at that thing, and he's just taking that ownership of that leadership role. And just to see the way the team responds to him is just awesome. But he has that confidence, he has that steadiness that is engaging. It is the guys, and he's just not about himself. He talks about LeBron. He has always been about the team. And I just think people, when they see that, they appreciate that. So, and it's authentic. And so, I think that's where our team is really respects what he does, and just cherishes him as a teammate because he's really an awesome kid.
We talked on last week's show about an upcoming game last Saturday against Cincinnati Moeller at home. The Crusaders ranked #1 in the state, and I know that you were excited about your team facing a challenge like that. Unfortunately, Mother Nature had some other plans, and the game was canceled, right?
Yes, canceled it. We looked at some dates. Our schedule's kind of wacky right now, and being a 4-hour away opponent, they only had certain dates they could come up. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to reschedule that one. We're going to try to find another game. There's some opportunity out there because a lot of teams had cancellations last weekend. So we're going to see what we can find out or figure out, and try to get another game added to the schedule. And for our team, it's important because we're kind of figuring things out going into the tournament. So that those extra reps are huge. But definitely, Moeller had been a tough challenge, and coming in here, we would have had to play really well, but it would have been a good measuring stick to see where we're at, and didn't work out that way. So we move on to the next one, and today, looking back at last night, I mean, we kind of played like a team that had been off for a while. I didn't realize how long that break was because we were in the gym and we had some days off because of weather. It's like, man, we were off 10 days. Like, it's hard to believe that because it just didn't seem that long, but definitely looked like a team that had been on some snow days and a long weekend and just kind of some dead legs and some tired kids, from sitting around maybe too much at the house. But it was a good game for us to get back on our track.
We have 3 games coming up in the next week now. Tomorrow night on the road at Open Door Christian Academy. What do you know about Open Door?
Well, we're going to shift our focus to them now today, and Coach Ellen put a scout together for them. Sometimes these long weeks have some of the assistants help out with scouting. So I've been focusing on Andrews. But today I'm start looking at them a little bit and see what Coach Ellen put together. But I know they got some 6'5", 6'6" guard type wing players. They can really score it. They're pretty athletic. It's a small gym. From what I saw a little bit on film, it looks like a pretty intense environment. So our guys usually respond well in those. So hopefully we come in ready to go. And I mean, it's going to be get off the bus. It's an hour and 15-minute trip. So you go into there and just see what happens. It's another opponent that we don't know a lot about, but we've seen a couple films on it. It's hard to know a team until you see them in person, but just hasn't worked out to get out to see them. They just haven't had a date that they've played that we could get out to when we weren't playing. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll go in and the coach last night from Andrews said if we play like we did last night, he feels pretty confident in our ability because to play with them because they played them this year. So. Again, I think it comes back to we got to control us. We got to control us, get off to a good start, and go from there.
Well, I know a lot of people have been looking toward the game on Saturday night. A lot of attention there. You go over to the field house in Canton, take on the McKinley Bulldogs.
Yeah, McKinley always a tough spot to play. Not looking ahead too much. We've been, our guys know what we're looking at there, but they also know we need to take care of business leading up to that. McKinley a lot like us, playing some young guys, had some great games. They've had some games they've struggled. They're going to get after you on defense. They're going to pressure the ball. They're going to make you try to make mistakes. And so we just got to handle the basketball. We got to attack when it's there. We got to keep moving the ball. We're getting better at that. We're moving the ball better. Sharing it, I think 4 guys were in double figures last night, so that balance helps. Take some of the burden off of Brett inside, and if they do double down, we have some other guys to prove they can score it. But McKinley, I mean, they're like I said, it's kind of a mirror of us the way their season's gone. It's just kind of that roller coaster ride. First year coach doing a great job, but we got to get ready to go for Thursday, and then take care of that one and shift our focus to that big one on Saturday.
And then your third road game in 6 days will be next Tuesday at Ashland, a team that you played earlier in the season. You beat them at home back on January 5th in the Tiger Gym. It was a rally in the final seconds, so obviously revenge will be on their mind too.
Sure. And they, they got a 6'5" guard that can score it. And we saw that firsthand. He lit us up the first half, and so we got to do a better job on him. And I know they'll be ready to go. Their gym, another older, smaller gym. The opportunity is going to be great to go in there and play in a tough environment. Another long trip, so it'll be interesting to see how they adjust us and then how we adjust them. This is kind of reminds me of being in a league where you play a team twice, and the chess match of what do you do differently the second time around. So I know they'll do some things different, and we're a different team walking in there. Some guys that are not playing right now that we're playing against them. So we'll have to adjust a little bit and see how we do. But I feel again confident going into that one because I think we figured some things out towards the end of that game on how to defend guys a little better that can hopefully do well into the next game against Ashland.
Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you.
All right, we want to thank Josh Hose, the head coach of the Massillon Tigers, for joining us this week on the Josh Hose Show. Also want to thank Reliable Heating and Cooling. Also, sophomore Luke Sabo joining us as our Tiger player this week. I'm your host, Dave Sheets. Thank you for watching, and as always, go Tigers.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our career technical education department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.